Hi everyone, tonight or today, whenever you're watching this, I want to go over a few things about animal and plant cells and what you guys can expect to see in a lab that we do this week related to plant and animal cells. So the first thing we want to know about observing live cells is that the specimen or the living thing has to be prepared on a slide, and we call that slide a wet mount. So in order to make a wet mount, you take a thin piece of whatever it is you're observing, you place that on a glass slide with some water, and then you need to add on a cover slip. While you're doing this, you want to make sure not to create any air bubbles, since that would make it difficult for you to actually see the specimen that you're observing. So if you look over here, this, where my arrow is, shows you the proper way to add a slide to a cover slip. To add a specimen to a slide. You put the specimen, you add a drop of water, and then you slowly, on an angle, lower the cover slip. And again, the point of that is to avoid air bubbles. After we create a wet mount slide, we sometimes also will stain a specimen. The stain that we add to a specimen, whether it's methylene blue or iodine, is useful because it basically highlights organelles for us. There are some organelles that we would not see unless they were stained. So what you see in the bottom picture on this slide is somebody adding stain to a slide. So you have your prepared slide with a cover slip, then you put a drop of stain on one side of the cover slip, and the paper towel on the other edge of it pulls the dye through. We're going to be looking at animal cells and plant cells. The first thing we're going to do is look at animal cheek cells, which we are going to get from our own cheeks. And what you see in this first circle up here are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, about 8 cheek cells. These are not regularly shaped like the slide on the bottom, but this thing that I'm circling with my arrow, that is one cheek cell. The oval in the middle of that cell is the nucleus. That is the organelle that is basically in charge of the cell. And then surrounding this cell would be the cell membrane. And that's a slide that we're going to prepare on our own. We're also going to look at prepared slides of frog blood cells. These are obviously smaller than our cheek cells. And here we can clearly see the purple nucleus, the cell membrane around the edge, and then the cytoplasm is the liquid that fills the rest of the cell. So when you look at an animal cell under a microscope, you're basically just going to be able to see the cell membrane, the cytoplasm, and the nucleus. And that's what you should be labeling on your diagrams. We're also going to look at plant cells. We're going to look at live onion cells. So we'll peel off a layer from a regular white onion. We'll prepare a wet mount slide as I described. And this is what you'll see when you look under the microscope. So the rectangle shape is one cell. This dark circle that I'm taking, watch my arrow, dark circle, 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 circle. Those are nuclei in different cells. So this arrow here, one cell, 2 cells, 3 cells. When you're drawing a cell on your lab report, you just want to draw one of these. So you would draw a nice rectangle box. You would put a nucleus in the middle, and you would label the cell wall, the cytoplasm, and the nucleus. We're also going to be looking at Elodea. Elodea is something that people often use in their aquariums. The green plants, we're going to pluck one leaf. And here you can see these bricks. Each brick, so to speak, is a cell. So the outer layer of the cell is a cell wall. Then within that, you can't really see it, is a cell membrane. But in the Elodea, you'll notice a lot of these little green guys. These green guys are chloroplasts, and that's what allows the plant cell to perform photosynthesis. So if you look at the animal cell and the plant cell, they look very different, and those differences in the way they look or their structure has to do with their function. Plant cells are able to do photosynthesis while animal cells cannot. So that was just a brief overview of what you can expect to see in the lab. So when you're looking at your slides and you're looking for your cheek cells, this is what you want to see. And when you're looking for your onion cells and your Elodea cells, this is what you want to see. And we will delve more deeply into cells in our class. Have a great day.